If you want to permanently remove your negative items, stick around until the end, because the most important stuff is going to be at the end. If you want to see if I can do a credit sweep for you, remove your negative items, increase your score, and get you where you need to be to financial freedom, use the link to schedule that call with me. We're answering the stuff that's been submitted recently by many people asking the same things. Now, let's get to your questions. Kristen, what do I do if I send a dispute and the bureaus do not respond? The first thing that you're going to want to understand is that they have no incentive to remove your negative items from your credit report, but they have certain laws and regulations that need to abide by and blah, 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 the violation of this, that, and the third. No, understand that the bureaus have zero incentive to remove your negative information because they get paid to obtain, maintain, and sell your information. They want to keep you just like the banks do. The banks make more money from subprime market, right? See, they can charge higher APRs, which means more money for them, right? With the bureaus, it means that when the potential lenders buy this information from the credit bureaus, they're going to pay a pretty penny for it. That's how this works. So if they remove this information and increase your credit score, they're going to get paid less by these potential lenders, and they're also going to get paid less to report it because you got it removed. That's how this works. Their job is to keep you in that subprime market, and our job is to permanently remove these negative items from your credit report. Now, as far as violations and all of that, yes, there are violations. The violation is nothing if you don't do something to enforce it, okay? It's not just automatically going to come off. This is not 15 years ago where all you had to say was, hey, you didn't respond. Oh, let's remove this from your credit report. No, you have to go above and beyond and fight tooth and nail. That is why they are called dispute rounds. Round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, round 5, round 6, round 7, so on and so forth. It's like a boxing match, right? There's going to be a winner for every single round, and there's going to be a winner at the end of the match. So what do you do when they don't respond? You already have exactly what you need, and it is your credit report. It is the information reported on your credit report. That is literally the only thing that you could ever need. So when you send out a dispute, right? Round 1, no response. Hey, guess what? Go to your credit report. Find the new information for these things. If you used date last reported for round 1 or balance on round 1, now you're going to go and you're going to dispute their failure to enter the notice of dispute. Your next round is going to be first date of delinquency. If you use first date of delinquency, now you're going to go to payment history. So you already have access to everything that you need. You can see whether they did an investigation by looking at the date last reported and the notice of dispute. So it doesn't matter what they do. It's about what we do. And what we do is we don't get frustrated. We don't get stressed out. We use the facts on the credit report and we go and get our deletions, okay? That is what we do. The bureaus want you to get frustrated. They want you to give up. They want you to cancel with your credit repair company. They want you to stay in the 500s. That's their sweet spot, 500s, 600s. We're not going to do that. No, we're not going to give in to what they want. So let's talk about the next thing. What do we do when it comes back verified as accurate? I already went over that. What we're going to do is we're going to find the next best dispute reason based on the hierarchy, and we're going to get our results, right? So we have a hierarchy of negative items. We split it up into 3 different parts. Here at the top, we have things like date last paid, date last active, notice of dispute, date last reported. In the middle, we have things like high balance, past due, balance, so on and so forth. At the bottom, we have things that we don't want to use. Terms, type, status. No, all those things are just totally worthless. They are last resort disputes, and you just don't want to use them. So these are going to be rounds 1 through 4, 5 through 8 in the middle, 9 through 12 on the bottom. And you do not just say, delete this for inaccuracy because the date last reported is wrong. You need to support this with your facts. Not only do you need to support this with your facts, but you need to prove that it's actually reported that way. How do we do this? Exhibits. You're going to take a screenshot of your account and you're going to include that at the bottom of your letter. Here's the letter. Identification. This is your entire letter. That is what you are sending to the credit bureaus, okay? You have to include your ID and your proof of address and your social if you are disputing social on your credit report. What do you do as far as disputing with, like, how do I know who to dispute with first? That depends on what you are disputing. If you're disputing third-party collections, you're disputing with the collector first because we want them to not put that notice of dispute pursuant to FDCPA 8078, and they are less likely to enter this notice of dispute than the bureaus. So for your third-party collections, you send it out about 14 days to 30 days later. Now you're sending out round one to the credit bureaus. Now you can dispute your other accounts at the same time as that first letter going out, like your charge-offs and your late payments and your inquiries and all of that. Okay, you just need to understand that everything is based on what you are disputing. But the number one thing, as far as what you should do first and how to get the fastest results, it's to dispute your personal information and get it removed. And how long should go in between your personal info dispute and your first account dispute? You have to give it time. Now, who do you dispute with as far as the validation of debt? Validation of debt is only going out to those third-party collectors. It is not going out to Portfolio or Midland or Cavalry or any of those, okay? It's only going out to these companies that are A, outside the statute of limitations, or B, have a lower limit and they're within the statute of limitations, or they're third-party. Medical collections that are like for the gym, National Grid, your power, your cell phone, those are the ones, except for Verizon. They do in-house charge-off or they sell it out to Jefferson, who is a debt buyer. But those are the things that you're going to dispute using the validation of debt. Why don't you want to dispute with Portfolio Recovery and Midland and all of that? If it is within the statute of limitations, you are putting a green light above your head that says, hey, I'm trying to fix my credit. I probably have money now. Come sue me, right? You don't want to do that. You don't want them looking at you more than they absolutely have to. They will take you to court and they will garnish you and all that kind of stuff. I don't want that to happen to you. That brings me to the next thing, disputing with or making a complaint with the CFPB. When do you go to the CFPB? You go to the CFPB at the end of this, after you've exhausted all your remedies. It is not on round one. It is not prior to the bureaus. It's not any of those things. If you're doing that, you're not going to get your negative items removed. This is going to allow you to write the perfect dispute letter every single time, and this is the methods that I use. We have a checklist that you should be going over. Did you include and exclude everything you were supposed to? How to write your first paragraph, the specific questions that you're supposed to be answering, how to write the dispute reason, taking the facts from the credit report to dispute literally any account that you could possibly have, including late payments and inquiries and personal information, okay? All you do is you plug the information from your credit report directly into this formula. And this is the formula that I personally use to remove over 50,000 negative items from client credit reports. So men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie. So anybody can say whatever the heck they want to about me, but guess what? I have the numbers to prove that I know exactly what I'm talking about, all right? All you have to do is follow my lead, all right? That is the way that you get the fastest results. That is the way that you get permanent results. What if you previously did templates? You need to pretend like you never did templates, put that to the side, erase everything that you've already learned, and start breaking down your credit report. Look line by line and look for all those inaccuracies, right? You're looking for things like activity after the account was closed and monthly payments on closed accounts and 3 different balances, 3 different past dues, 3 different dates last paid, 3 different days last active, first day of delinquency to be inaccurate, the bureau is reporting different payment history. Those are the things that I personally use in addition to violations to remove negative items. Now, so late payments. When you're disputing late payments for student loans, you have the ability to either correct the account or remove the account, right? And if you cannot find inaccuracies, it is not ethical for you to dispute it just because you do not want your debt to income ratio to be the ratio that it is. Even though we're dealing with consumer law, you're still dealing with law, and it does turn into a criminal ordeal if you start committing fraud, which also brings me to identity theft. If you are not a victim of identity theft, you should not be utilizing the identity theft method. If you go in and you submit a police report, you are literally committing fraud, and people have literally gone to jail for 6 months. So my recommendation is stay away from that. And even if you are a victim of fraud, factual disputes is going to be your best method, because you will be able to remove your negative items, but it's not going to take 4 business days. No, honey, it's going to take you years. And instead, you could have just permanently removed your negative items in about 6 months, okay? So with late payments with student loans, what you're going to do is you're going to determine A, if you want to remove the account, or B, if you want to correct the account. And the number one way that you're going to correct the account, meaning remove the late payments, is if you see on time 90. you can't be on time and then 90 days late. Obviously, that means the 2 prior on-time payments are actually inaccurate, and you can use that to remove this late payment. Now, if it says 90 and then 120, you're going to have to remove the entire account. You're just going to say, delete this account for inaccuracy because the late payment history reflects inaccurately that I was 90 days late on this date without prior 30 or 60 day late payments. And then that's it, delete the account. All right. So what is the fastest way to permanently remove your negative items? It is using irrefutable facts. What's the fastest way to increase your credit score? It is to lower your utilization, remove your personal information, and then dispute and remove your negative information, add positive lines, and then you want to make sure you flesh out your credit. You want to have a ton of different credit. So all 5 types. You want to have auto, you want to have mortgage, you want to have installment, you want to have secured and unsecured revolving, you want to have merchandise cards, store cards, and all that kind of stuff. When you get to that point, now banks are gonna want to mess with you. Don't let that go over your head, all right? So that is how you get the highest credit score the fastest. That is literally the recipe to get there. There is no overnight process though. If you're not going to do this the right way, just don't do it at all. That is my recommendation. Yes. Is there a way to go from the 400s to the 700s? Yes, I did it personally myself with my own credit. Is there a way to remove bankruptcies? Yes. Evictions? Yes. Foreclosures? Yes. Third-party collections? Yes. Debt buyer collections? Yes. Late payments? Yes. Inquiries? Yes. Judgments, tax liens? Yes. But if you're not going to do it the right way, don't start sending out disputes. You're going to get banned from disputing, or they're just not going to come off. And I do not want that to happen to you. So if you want to learn more about how to dispute the right way and how to deal with verified as, I have a whole workshop on how to deal with verified as accurate from the credit bureaus. Everything is going to be down in the description, as well as, again, the link to see if I can personally do a credit sweep for you at my740.com. But that is it. Thank you for joining. I hope you have a great weekend ahead of you, and please be safe. I'll see you guys later.